Hey everybody, this is Sage Valentine, and this is my review of NBC's Believe, Season 1, Episode 7, Bang and Blame. So we finally get to the episode where Bo is shot, but she's not shot with a bullet, she's shot with a tranquilizer dart. While Winter, Tate, Channing, and Bo are stopped at a gas station after leaving Tate's hometown. They are pursued by two of Scorus's assassin men. Well, what ends up happening is that Bo's in the car, she's drawing or whatever. She draws this farm, and when Tate and Winter and Channing see the picture, they're like, we can't go there. So they stop. I guess they're getting gas. And Bo and Tate are inside of the convenience store, and those guys come in, they run out. So then as they're running back, Bo gets shot with an arrow in her side, and it ends up making her go unconscious. Now we learn later, or become unconscious. So they end up having to rush her to that farm that they didn't want to go to. And what happens is that Nick, one of the men that Scorus sent after them, he's pursuing them. So all of a sudden, Channing tells Winter to hit the gas or hit the brake, and Nick goes smacking into the back of the car, and he's knocked out. They take him, they tie him up. When they get to the farm, they put him in the barn all tied up. We meet two people, Carl and Sarah, who house became a sanctuary for Bo. So what happens is that Bo has this high fever. She's not waking up. We later learn that it's some type of coma. When she overuses her powers, Bo puts herself, or people with Bo's ability can put themselves into a coma, I guess, to regenerate themselves, and it's their choice whether or not they're going to come back to life or stay in that coma forever, as per Zoe. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, okay. What ended up happening basically was that Bo, as Bo's, I guess, her temperature, her pulse starts dropping or something, she has this out-of-body experience where she's walking through the house, everything's light, she can see everything, then all of a sudden everything disappears, she's in the room by herself, then she's walking down the stairs and everything's dark. And she sees Carl and Sarah, and they're talking and they're hugging, but she sees this essence coming out of the fireplace or the chimney, and it like comes towards her. So what ends up happening is that we learn a couple things this episode. Like, I'm not going to get too quickly into the episode, but all I can tell you is that Scorus is still like dead set on getting Sean ready, even to Zoe's dismay. Zoe's like, listen, I'm not for this, but he's still pushing for Sean. But I don't even think they didn't show Scorus this episode. But anyway, what ends up happening is that we learn that Winter took took Bo to Sarah and Carl's house to keep her there. And what happens is that Scorus sent somebody to come there and get Bo, but in getting Bo, this person ended up stabbing Sarah and shooting Carl. So that's why Carl has the limp and he has the cane. So to make a long story short, we learned that that person is Channing, and Channing was security for Bo, and she was hired by Scorus to take care of Bo. Channing ended up getting injured during that fight, and Bo basically saved her life. So we get to Tate and Winter, and as Bo is slowly slipping away, the idea of bringing her back to Orchestra, although it's like a far-fetched idea, they decide, you know what, if we're going to save her, we're going to bring her to there. But Winter's dead set against it, so he's like, we can make the call. They have to drive maybe a couple miles away and make this call. They make the call. They talk to Zoe. Zoe meets him at a train station, but what happens is that Zoe ends up being followed. So she loses her tail, and then she talks to Winter, begs him to bring Bo back to Orchestra. Bo is like, listen, now Bo. Winter's like, we can't do that. They're going to change her. And Tate's like, keeps saying, well, we got to take care of it. He's like, listen, I'm saying to Tate, you will never see Bo. If they get her, he'll never see her. So Zoe gives him this tranquilizing thing, or this syringe, and they take it back. They use it to shoot into Bo for her to wake up. Bo doesn't wake up from that. And in fact, she's still kind of floating around seeing this monster, whatever. So Tate is out of options. But even before I get to that, while Tate and Winter were gone, Carl went down to see Nick. Nick basically told him, even after revealing that he didn't have the scar because Carl stabbed him, or stabbed the person that came to get Bo, and Nick didn't have the scar, so Nick revealed to Carl that Channing was the person. So we learned that Channing, like I said, was the security for Bo. Channing came to get Bo. So they're after Bo, and they don't want her and Bo. They're after Channing. They don't want Channing around. They're pissed at Channing. They're over it. So to make a long story short, Channing explains, like, Winter saved me. We went away. She's like, I learned I could change. They don't want to hear that. They basically put her out the house. So when they get back, like I said, Tate and Winter, they bring that syringe. They shoot it into Bo. Bo doesn't wake up. They try everything. So Tate gets this crazy idea to go and enlist Nick and get together and get Bo out of the house to take her back to orchestra. Channing's freaked out. She's fighting. She's like, don't let him go. You don't know him. Tate basically locks her in the barn. So what ends up happening is it becomes a standoff, and he tries to grab Bo, and Nick puts his shotgun, because Carl has this shotgun, but Nick takes it out of his hand, and he shoots, or he takes it out of his hand, puts it to Tate's chest. This is Nick putting it right to the barrel to Tate's chest. And what ends up happening is that, I don't know if I'm trying to remember if he hit him or not, but the next thing you know, Tate's holding Bo, and he's like holding her, and he's rocking her, and he was like, I think he said something along the lines of, don't leave me when I just found you, and tells her that she's his father. He's her father. So, to make a long story short, now that the cat's out of the bag and everything, Channing and Tate still don't get along, but Channing now understands why Winter wanted Tate involved in this, because he was kind of iffy, but he said that he had to see whether this would hinder Bo or help Bo by Tate's presence being around. So anyway, guys, this was a really great episode. If you haven't watched Believe and you're just getting into it, definitely check out NBC.com. They have the first 7 episodes up, including this one I'm just talking about. And definitely watch, tweet, #Believe, #RenewBelieve, save Believe, because Believe is like in danger of being canceled. Anywho, guys, thank you for tuning in. Check all my links out. This is Sage Valentine. Have a happy Monday. Have a great work week. Stay tuned later for my review of the following. Wednesday for my review of Survivor. Friday for my review of Hannibal. Another review that I have of Mad Men. More surprises, and my next review of Believe. Anyway, guys, take care. Sage Valentine. Bye, guys. Bye.